Hey guys, hope you're all doing great. I'm Hoodie, and today we're going to check out some Reddit stories together. And if you enjoy listening to Reddit stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Sometimes, betrayal doesn't end a marriage immediately. Sometimes, it quietly rewrites everything that comes after. This is a story about someone who thought they were heading toward divorce with nothing left to hold on to, until one conversation changed the entire outcome. Here's what they shared. I never imagined I'd be sitting in a lawyer's office while planning a vacation for my 10th wedding anniversary. But that's exactly how my life unfolded. I'm 38 years old, and until recently, I thought my marriage was solid. Not perfect, but stable. We had built a life together over 10 years, and I was already looking ahead to how we would celebrate that milestone. While I was planning trips and imagining memories, my husband was having an affair. I didn't see it coming. Not even a little. He's 39, and the woman he chose was much younger, somewhere in her mid-20s. When I found out, it felt surreal, like the kind of thing that happens in stories you read online, not in your own life. The heartbreak was overwhelming. I'd known people who had gone through divorce before, and I knew how complicated it could be. In my state, couples usually have to live separately for a full year before a divorce can be finalized. I also assumed that I'd have to pay alimony, and I was preparing myself financially and emotionally for that reality. I didn't want to be caught off guard, so I scheduled a meeting with a divorce lawyer. That meeting changed everything. She explained something I didn't know. In our state, alimony is not awarded if adultery can be proven, and in my case, there was no doubt. My husband hadn't just cheated. He had given me proof himself. Messages, evidence, everything. I won't have to pay him a single dollar. I was already emotionally broken, but hearing that felt like the first breath I'd taken in weeks. I had been prepared to lose, financially on top of everything else. Knowing I wouldn't was the best news I could have hoped for in that moment. Then my lawyer gave me another piece of information that shocked me even more. The 1-year separation requirement only applies to no-fault divorces. Since I had proof of adultery, she could file immediately. And she did. At that point, my husband and I were still living together technically. Our lease was set to expire at the end of the month, and the plan, at least in his mind, was that the separation clock wouldn't start until after we moved out. He wanted a no-fault divorce. Looking back, I know now that he was counting on alimony. He had no idea what was coming. I won't lie. A small part of me wished I could see his face when two things happened at once. When he was served with the divorce papers, and when he realized that his cheating had cost him financially. It didn't fix the pain, but it gave me a sense of control I desperately needed. When he was served, he wasn't calm. He was angry and confused. He truly believed we had to live separately for a year before anything could move forward. I told him to speak to his own lawyer and stopped engaging. By the end of October, our lease ended and we moved out. We were finally living separately. A few days after he was served, he reached out again. This time, his tone was different. He told me he had changed his mind. He asked if we could try to work things out. I said no, not gently, not carefully. I told him there was no chance, and that any further communication should go through our lawyers. He was emotional, nearly in tears, but by then, something in me had shifted. He broke my heart first. About a month passed, and I haven't seen or spoken to him since. He hasn't tried to contact me again, and honestly, I'm relieved. I don't want conversations, apologies, or explanations. I want distance. Some people assumed I'd be disappointed that he stopped trying. I'm not. I don't want anything to do with him ever again. Even with the good legal news, the emotional damage is still there. Divorce doesn't stop hurting just because the paperwork goes in your favor. But I've learned something through all of this. Sometimes, the best revenge really is living well and letting consequences do the talking. A few weeks after everything started moving forward legally, I decided to share a small update. My husband eventually spoke to his own lawyer. That's when reality finally caught up with him. He stopped arguing. He stopped insisting things weren't fair. And for the first time since all of this began, he stopped trying to control the narrative. We now communicate only through our lawyers. There are no emotional messages, no attempts to reconcile, No late-night apologies. Just paperwork and distance. I've also moved into my own place. It's smaller than the home we shared, quieter and still unfamiliar. But it's mine. For the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe without waiting for the next disappointment. Some people asked if I felt guilty for acting quickly, for protecting myself before he had time to prepare. The honest answer is no. I didn't create this situation. I just stopped pretending it wouldn't hurt me. This process has taught me something I didn't expect. Strength doesn't always look like confrontation or revenge. Sometimes it looks like preparation, boundaries, and choosing not to explain yourself to someone who already chose to betray you. I'm not healed yet, but I'm no longer stuck, and that feels like progress. Sometimes, the most powerful moment in a broken relationship isn't when the truth comes out. It's when you stop waiting for fairness and start choosing yourself. If you were in their place, would you have waited and hoped things would work out? Or acted the moment you realized trust was already gone? The first story was about protecting yourself after betrayal. This next one is about realizing the betrayal came from someone who never thought they'd be questioned. Sometimes, the hardest truth isn't about who hurt you. It's about who believed you would never leave. I always thought loyalty was simple. You show up. You keep your word. You don't take advantage of people who trust you. I didn't realize how wrong I was until I became the person being taken for granted. This happened with someone I had known for most of my adult life. My best friend. We met in our early 20s and stayed close through everything. New jobs, relationships, breakups. We were the kind of friends people assumed would always be in each other's lives. I trusted him without hesitation. I never questioned his intentions. That trust is exactly why I didn't see the problem sooner. A few years ago, I decided to start a small business. Nothing flashy, just something stable that I could grow slowly. He was supportive from the beginning. He offered advice, connections, and eventually helped managing some of the finances. I didn't hesitate to say yes. At first, everything felt normal. He handled invoices, tracked expenses, and gave me updates whenever I asked. I was busy trying to keep the business afloat, so having someone I trusted handle the details felt like a relief. The first sign that something was wrong came from a place I didn't expect. My accountant asked a simple question during tax season. She pointed out a few transactions that didn't quite make sense. At first, I brushed it off. Mistakes happen. Numbers get mixed up. But when I looked closer, the pattern was impossible to ignore. Small amounts, spread out, easy to miss unless you were specifically looking for them. Money leaving the business and ending up in accounts I didn't recognize. I confronted him calmly. I didn't accuse him. I asked for an explanation. He laughed. He told me I was overthinking it, that I didn't understand how finances worked, that I should trust him the way I always had. That response hurt more than the missing money, because in that moment, I realized something had shifted. He wasn't just taking money. He was relying on my loyalty to keep me quiet. I spent the next week reviewing everything. Statements, records, emails. The truth became impossible to deny. He had been slowly taking money for months. Not enough to raise alarms, just enough to benefit himself. When I confronted him again, I didn't ask questions. I told him I knew. This time, he didn't deny it. He told me he planned to pay it back, that it wasn't a big deal, that I was doing well enough not to notice. He said something I'll never forget. You wouldn't have even checked if you didn't trust me so much. That was the moment the friendship ended. I cut him off immediately. I removed his access. I documented everything. And after a long, difficult week of thinking, I made another decision I never thought I'd make. I reported it. Not out of anger, not for revenge, but because I realized that staying silent would mean teaching him that loyalty has no boundaries. The fallout was messy. Mutual friends took sides. Some said I was being too harsh. Others said I should have handled it privately. A few quietly admitted they weren't surprised. He never apologized. He said I ruined his life, that I betrayed him, that I should have protected him the way friends are supposed to. That hurt, but not enough to make me doubt myself. Several months have passed since everything happened. The business survived. Barely, but it survived. I've rebuilt slowly, with have stricter boundaries and fewer people involved. Trust doesn't come easily anymore. I haven't spoken to him since. We don't share the same friend group anymore. Some relationships faded quietly. Others ended abruptly. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Because what I learned is this: loyalty without accountability isn't loyalty. It's permission. I don't miss the friendship I thought we had. I miss the version of him I believed in. After listening to both of these stories, one thing becomes clear. Betrayal doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes, it comes from the people who believe they'll never be questioned. These stories aren't about anger or revenge. They're about the moment someone realizes that trust without boundaries becomes permission. Whether it's a marriage or a friendship, protecting yourself isn't cruel. It's necessary, because staying silent doesn't always keep the peace. Sometimes, it just delays the damage. If you were in their place, what would you have done? Would you have waited and hoped things would change? Or drawn the line the moment trust was broken?